Hello, sister. This is Age and Pregnancy Part 2 that I am filming right now in 2017. The first one I did was back in 2013, and I just watched it, and I totally stand by everything I said in there. I totally stand by everything I said, especially that last line, if you just watched it, with your spirit baby saying, giving you the green light, like, Mama, we got this, don't worry about this. 4 years later, though, I have some additional information from my own experience, and I think that now is the time to talk about some things that I just touched upon lightly in the first video. These videos are really like a mystery school, which is why I charge for them. Well, I charge for them because I deserve to be compensated for my time and energy, but then also to qualify the people that are ready to hear this information. And for those of you that are willing to put your energy in, and putting your money in is a form of energy, it's saying, yes, I am willing to do this work, then you are ready to hear these things. So, let me just start back at the beginning. When I did that first video in 2013, I knew there was a transformation going on in my body. I knew it was imminent. I did not know the process that my body would go through for the next 4 years. I did not know, and I think it's really good that I didn't know. I absolutely stand by everything I said in my first video. I knew what I was talking about. I absolutely knew what I was talking about. So I talk about this in my book. You've probably read my book, but as our consciousness expands, I'm looking at my notes. I took notes just to make sure that I talked about some certain things that I didn't talk about in the first one. As our consciousness expands, as our mental capabilities and our awareness spans, as we grow and evolve spiritually, our biology has no choice but to follow suit. Keywords: follow suit. There is a delay there. And this is something that me as a forerunner has gone through, and I know some other forerunners that have gone through this. I wonder if it's really necessary for everybody to go through this. I have talked to the higher realms and said, I don't think we should have to go through this. But I'm going to mention it because I went through this, and if you're going through this, I just want you to understand that this is normal and there's nothing to fear. And what I'm talking about is before we transform into our pristine divinity of our original form, there can be a process of what I call aging out. What does that mean? It sounds scary. I do touch upon it in my book as well. But it is when all these illusions, delusions, everything we've rejected in our bodies, anything that's supposed to come up, comes up. I aged out from 2013 and until 2015. There was 2 years there where I would say I aged a decade. Maybe you can even tell the difference. I was looking at myself. I look a little younger there, a little thinner there. And there was just this period of aging out where everything that was going to come to the surface in your future years comes to the surface now. And man, that can be really humbling. And also it can be a big what the fuck moment. And it can also be scary, especially if you are on this journey of becoming an older mother. You think you're getting older. You see this evidence in the mirror that you're getting older. And, if I'm telling you that you're going to become younger and you're going to regenerate, and you see all these wrinkles and you see, your body just isn't functioning like it used to, that can be really scary. It is temporary. It is temporary. And if I have any pull in the higher dimensions, I'm going to say, take this out for the ones that are coming up. I don't really understand why that has to be a part of it, the aging out process. But it's sort of like cleaning out the closet. Everything comes out before you put everything back in. It's the same with our bodies. So our bodies can have this appearance of deteriorating first before the renewal comes. It happens. It's not talked about a lot. It is not talked about a lot, but it's a very real thing that many, many, many of the forerunners of this have experienced. Um, it's been 4 years for me that I've been knowing of this imminent transformation, and yet my body goes the other way. If that happens to you, know that it is temporary. And I'm definitely going to say it's not going to be a 4 year thing for you. Um, the ones who have never done this before, were blazing the trail, so it's easier for those that come behind us. Um, so there is a period of time where everything seems to be getting worse, but it is really, really temporary. And the best thing you can do is not resist it. And how hard is that? How hard is that? It really takes a very strong mind of a warrior, okay? Um, to face these things and just say, okay, I see this, I see these new wrinkles, I see this deterioration. I understand that it is temporary. It is my body transforming into something new. It's the letting go and the releasing of the disease, the decay, and the death process. And it's just bleh, coming out in your body. It's just coming out. Um, I look around now, years later, and I see people waking up. I see them aging out. I see them gaining weight. And the judgment has changed for me, and it will for others too. As they go through this, they'll know that there's a huge spiritual transformation going wrong. Now, when I see someone age out in a short period of time, or gain weight in a short period of time, I actually get excited for them because I know what they're doing. I know what they're going through, and I know they are turning into the highest versions of themselves. Okay, this is not to scare you. This may not happen for you. If it does, though, love your body through it. Uh, Loving your body through it can make the journey so much shorter. I know that. Oh my God, I know that. And I wish I would have had much less resistance, but whatever. Don't resist it. Love your body as best you can. Even when you're uncomfortable, be honest with your body too. Look in the mirror. I'm uncomfortable with these wrinkles, body, but I know it's just temporary, and I know we are becoming the highest versions of ourselves. You are embracing your divine biology here. Okay, so that's what we're going to focus on. It's okay to have the freak out, the human freak out, as long as you temper it with the confident divinity. You're knowing that this is just part of the process. So when I talk about age and pregnancy, um, it's so easy to think, okay, so I'm 40, and she's telling me not to worry about my age, so that means I'll probably have a baby at 41, 42 and be okay. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is age is not going to matter at all, ever. Again, if you're on this journey, you are becoming the divine version of yourself, the God within. And the God within doesn't age, it doesn't decay, and there is no death. I talked about that before. If you choose, you can live hundreds and hundreds of years. I'm just going to shout that. You absolutely can. You could even have generations of babies. You absolutely could. If you have a couple of kids right now, you could have a couple of more kids in 10 years, and maybe a few more 10 years from there. You could have generations of kids. Does that sound crazy? It's absolutely what's becoming possible. Absolutely what's becoming possible. It might have seemed impossible before, but it is not impossible now. That is what we will see. These mothers, young, eternally young mothers, having generations of awakened, aware, magical children. If that speaks to you, if you're getting chills, if that expands you and excites you, I highly recommend this beautiful book called Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. And I read that book years and years ago when I first started on my journey. It totally activated me, expanded me. I just reread it last week. It took me a couple weeks, and oh God, it's just so there. When I read it years ago, it was like, oh, I know that's going to be true for me. As I read it now, I'm like, this is true for me now. It's a beautiful book. It will show you your potential. It will activate you, will help you remember. I highly recommend it. It's a gorgeous book. Um, but this is someone who's had generations and generations of children and lived, I think, 800 years. Does that sound crazy? People are doing it here. They already are. There have been people that have been doing it here the whole time, keeping that seed of potential here. You hear about the yogis in the caves. I mean, they do it. We can all do it. This is our divine right. Okay, the age of death, decay, and disease is over. And so, what's going to happen, dear sister, with your biology? Even as you go through this aging out process, you're working through your dragons. You're gonna come to this moment of wholeness, and there's just going to be a clicking into place, and things that needed to be healed will be healed within your own body. Um, it will be a spontaneous thing, just like that. Now, I'm not saying you have to wait for that to bring in your baby. You absolutely do not. You can bring in your baby at any step in the game. The important thing is to just throw out the whole age thing. Just throw it out as you have your expanding consciousness. And again, let the human live alongside of the divine knowing in you. You can have the moments of freak out of, okay, I'm still worried. I'm still feel this human fear that I'm too old to have a baby. Let that exist, along with, but I know I am on a higher path that I don't even understand, and my baby is here promising me that he or she is going to come in, and I trust that. Let them live side by side. And soon this divine knowing will become stronger than the old human fear. I just want to say, don't worry about doing anything actively for the anti-aging stuff. There's a whole bunch of anti-aging movements, foods, exercises. If some of that calls to you and you're like, oh yeah, I have to do that, then do it. But you don't have to do it. Some people need it as a bridge to their belief system, which means the anti-aging thing will be easier for them to believe if they are doing something to actively participate in it. But your expanding consciousness is really all you need to actively participate in. Your biology will take care of itself. Now, this is still 4 years after I filmed the first one. This is still cutting edge information that most people do not have. This is your mystery school sister. Another book I am going to recommend to you if you're ready, and I'm reading it right now, and holy crap, talk about a clicking into place. I would recommend Anna, Grandmother of Jesus first, and then followed by the Sophia Code if you have not read it. Read it now and read it again later, see how it changes, but it activates you, it expands you, it unleashes all this potential in you. Oh my God, I'm loving the Sophia Code right now. It's important to surround yourself with information that backs up this expansion that you're going through, because we live in a world of limitation where people don't know about this, where everyone just buys into the death, disease, decay. Okay, so we have to do our best to surround ourselves with the more expansive, limitless information. Your baby's saying, Mama, we got this. Here she's carrying you over to this expansive realm right here. So feed that expansion with the books I was talking to you about. Seek out information about light bodies and stuff like that. So it becomes just this knowing in you. Just like, I know this. I know it like I know it like I know it. Just a couple more things. I'm going to include on this page, actually, a link to a Kryon video. Kryon is this loving being who is channeled through a man named Lee Carroll. I read him years and years and years ago, and I have come back to him. And again, it was like planting the seed years and years ago, and now it's like, oh my God, it's right here. It's right here. But I love Kryon for many reasons, because he talks about the biology and how we can heal it and how it can be spontaneous and how we can be immortal and we don't have to do this crap anymore of the death, disease, decay. He also talks about the new kids, which is why I love him, because there's not a lot of people that talk about the new kids. So Watch this video that I'm linking on this page. It talks about the innate, and I think he talks about the kids in that video. But then, you know, it's a YouTube video, so you can see other things that are prompted up. Anything that talks about healing the cells or DNA, great stuff in there. And he talks about the kids too. So you'll hear more about your kids' attributes. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. Two more things I want to say. If you're watching this video, it's not only because you have a desire to have a baby at an older age. It is because it is your duty and your mission, and one of the reasons you came here. You came here to defy and transcend the age limitations when it comes to bringing in these babies, okay? This is your duty. It is not something that is just a wishful thing that you would like. It is one of the reasons you came here, sister. Ooh, let the chills course through you right there. They really should. I'm speaking to your body, and this is one of the reasons you came here. Lastly, I'm going to tell you about an email from someone I got just last week. This is someone who read my book and had instant connection with her baby right away. This is a woman who's had fertility problems and health problems for a very long time. Was on Clomid. She's never had a baby before. She was on Clomid for fertility issues and then stopped taking it. She emailed me because she is now 14 weeks pregnant. It happened naturally. The doctors cannot believe that it happened naturally. With all her health problems and her fertility issues, this was a surprise. It was an absolute surprise. She has been honing her vibration, expanding into her limitlessness, talking to her baby. She's getting signs left and right. She knows this is a miracle baby. This woman is going to be 46 years old this month. This seems like a miracle. To the human, it is. To the God within us, this is how it is. We're going to be hearing more of these stories. You are going to be one of these stories. You are going to be giving me these stories so I can share with other women and inspire them. You are one of these stories, sister, okay? Expand yourself, seek out that limitless information, talk to your baby, know this is a promise. It doesn't matter how old you get. It doesn't matter how bad your health seems right now. Everything can change in one breath and in one moment. You got this.